Hello, hello. Uh, yes. Welcome to the stream. Hello, everybody. The stream is live. You guys could just skip to the freaking what do you call this? Skip probably like around 10 to 15 minutes into the freaking video if you're like a VOD watcher. If you wanna watch the entire freaking thing, but I gotta wait for like people to come into the stream supposedly, right? For able to be able to like continue going to yap about Doctor Strange. But today, yeah, I kind of like gotten quite some crazy ass freaking notes about freaking Doctor Strange, like a little bits of pieces of like freaking ideas of like how to be able to like talk about it. And Mr. Doctor is quite a nice freaking movie about like some things of giving yourself quite to the freaking unknown. It has themes about yes, giving yourself to the unknown, like about freaking control, about well, mostly it's about finding things that are just letting go of your control of the path that you're supposed to be able to, and being able to live and still be able to live. Like this guy was okay. I'll continue later. Like finding other ways for you to be able to live and serve and help, finding those kinds of things in life. And yeah, that was freaking Doctor Strange. It's kind of nice conversation about it. I'm kind of like I'm kind of like quite chill about it right now because I don't know what I'm gonna be able to talk about. I don't have that freaking kind of like talking points that is crazy insane that you know because usually it takes like a freaking hour for me to be able like yeah, it's usually around an hour. The conversation on the app is about a freaking hour. To, like talk about something for like an hour is kind of crazy insane. But might be able to. There are things about it, like okay, because of like while we're waiting, let me just give an update as to what happens from yesterday to today. Yeah, it's just very hard when your place of freaking work is like at your freaking bed. And I tend to be able to like sleep a lot. It's just very hard. I need to like go somewhere else to be able for me to just like get myself out there. But it's just freaking like cold these days. It's kind of colder. Like temperatures like are freaking colder these days. It's just like I don't like the freaking how cold it is outside. So kind of like here, I'm stuck here inside and sucking. I'm stuck here inside like weathering it out, weathering out the entire freaking thing, and just hoping that I'll be a bit warmer inside, and it's kind of nice. The thing is, when you had that, when you're like a bit warm and cold, and you just like be able to like keep yourself warm with the freaking blankets, and you end up freaking sleeping and dozing out. So I wasn't able to like do this earlier today. So I gotta wait for the rest of the night. Yes, kind of crazy because I woke up freaking early-ish. I kind of like I woke up kind of okay. Yeah, that was it. That was my day today. Oh yeah, one more thing. Like I got a new perfume. This is Pacific Chill. This version of freaking Pacific Chill that I smelled, it smells good when you're like smelling it off the freaking when you're smelling it off, the just when you're not spraying it and you're smelling it off the just the juices, and you're like you really get close to it. But once you get, I sprayed it in my freaking hand, and it's projection. The way it's being projected outside, the way you smell it, it just smells like a freaking huge air freshener, and I'm like, bro. No, it doesn't smell like an air freshener. It smells like this thing. It smells like the trees, like fragrance trees that you put into one of the fragrance trees that you put on a car. It smells like a new car. It smells like a fragrance on a car. That's what it smells like somehow. And I'm kind of like turned off on it a bit, but once it's been done right, once it's done right though, it's kind of like nice. It's kind of nice. It smells kind of good when I'm smelling it like closely, but it's like when it's being projected or like being just wafted in the freaking air, it smells like that. Like some parts of it are way too freaking strong. That some other notes it doesn't like blend well. Probably gonna give it a rest for it to like, be able to like really be something. But man, it's just long freaking way. It's almost like hitting 12. It's so freaking strong. I can smell it like even like closing to 12 hours. Like freaking 10 hours. Yes, 10 hours. 10 hours later, I can still smell it on my skin, which is kind of crazy. This is why it's so freaking strong. It's so strong. Probably good for like a hot ass freaking days when I get to be able to sweat a little bit. Yeah, it's really good for like hot ass freaking days. But Pacific Chill by HSI Motivational. I'm looking for something freshy because I'm looking forward to the freaking summer. Like out to the Philippines, like around March. That's like it's gonna start to get hot like around March. Like around March it starts to get hot. And yeah, most of the freaking time in the freaking year it's hot. It's probably more than 25 degrees around that freaking area. But I live like in a much more cooler place in the freaking country, so yeah, I will get to experience like around 21, something like that. Right now it's like 16 degrees outside. That's kind of cold. It's pretty cold here. For like the tropics, it's really cold. 16 degrees is cold. So that's about it. 16 degrees is kind of cold when it comes in. Yeah. So shall we start? Like around 10 minutes. We start about somewhere around there. So anything else I need to like talk about for today? And I need to like start working out, bro. Gotta start working out. Started losing freaking weight. It's kind of freaking hard, like getting a deficit of like 1,000. It's actually 1,100, I think. Yeah, 1,100 calorie deficit per freaking day. The hard thing about it is probably like scheduling whatever it is that the workout is, or like having being active like most of the freaking day. That's the freaking hard part about it. But eventually, probably be able to like do it, right? So That's that's about it. Okay, let's start. Starting off when it comes to when it comes to Doctor Strange. As I watch freaking Doctor Strange, I get to watch it's a really good freaking movie. Yeah, it's rated 89. Yeah, it's an 89. It's kind of nice. It is kind of nice. It's pretty freaking solid. Again, when it comes to Phase freaking 3, it's like one of the best of freaking Marvel. In this freaking time, we got to see someone being struggled when it comes to like taking control of his freaking life, right? It is someone who's like who wants to be in control of almost freaking everything. Who seems to be able to. The thing about it is like it's someone who's like wants to be able to control, or he thinks it's all about freaking him, right? I guess that's what about it freaking whatever Doctor Strange is at the freaking beginning. At the beginning of his freaking journey, we get to be known of freaking Doctor Strange as someone who thinks it's like everything is all about him. He can't do freaking everything. He can't do everything better than everybody else. Yeah, like nobody else is really able to like do whatever it is that he does. And one of his most important freaking things was being able to do this freaking thing is through his freaking hands. It's one of his most important freaking thing that he'll be able to do. At the freaking beginning, we get to see this. We get to be established with with this relationship when it comes to Christine. When it comes to freaking Christine, it's like it's them but not them. It seems like they had a relationship and they had a relationship together, but somehow be able to like uh have a break when it comes to each other and have this thing together when it comes to each other. They used to have a relationship, but like trying to act like normally when it comes to each other, trying to be able to like having this. Will they ever wanted to get back to each other or not? It is freaking there when it comes to this freaking too, but it seems like they won't be able to get back to each other. It seems like whatever it is that's going on, it seems like it doesn't seem like they're gonna get back with each other, but they're okay with each other. There are chances in there. It can be like it could be done, but it probably couldn't be done. That's when it comes to like freaking Doctor Strange at the beginning, and when it comes to like his relationship, there's also we have like freaking Nick. Uh, Started off with this freaking operation. He's like having this operation. He's like very good, very competent. He is freaking the best. Yeah, he's at the top of the world. He is the freaking best. And while he is in the freaking top of the world, he got to do these things with freaking Nick. He doesn't trust anybody else, right? He doesn't trust anybody else to do freaking work. And as a neurosurgeon, there are like freaking different things when it comes to each other. And then when it comes to Doctor Strange, you have this freaking things about him. He has this freaking huge thing, a huge perception of himself. He thinks of himself. He thinks of himself as freaking highly. He highly thinks of himself. Like when it comes to like we say with freaking ego, and when it comes to freaking ego, it's like the way you see yourself and your place in the freaking world, right? So he has to freaking play the freaking ego, thinking that his place in the world is at the very top, and he's the only one who's to be able to do the things that we're able to. Oh shit, that's what he is. Right? Place himself in those world, and we see it like that when it comes later on as the story moves forward. We get to see more about freaking Doctor Strange in this freaking journey. Now, the things I want to talk about it here is like how I like the freaking thing. That's the freaking beginning, and I would like that's the beginning, and the beginning of it is very nice. And I would like to also talk about my beginning when it comes to like watching this freaking movie. The beginning, which is my first freaking pass or the first time, but my experience as watching this freaking movie. Right, the first time I watched this movie, I was at awe of the visual effects. The visual effects were so freaking good because I've never seen something else that emulates or like copies what Inception has done, right? Something that what Inception has done, but somehow be able to like have this in- exception, something that was done by Inception by Christopher freaking Nolan. The visual effects in Inception by Christopher Nolan, years earlier, was like replicated here in Doctor Freaking Strange in the Mirror Dimension. Like how the Mirror Dimension is, it's just freaking, it's just so new and fresh to me that it was like, wow, this looks amazing. and the way they were able to integrate it in the freaking story, which is kind of new to the Doctor Strange freaking franchise, or how Doctor Strange was able to do this mirror dimension thingy, which is nice. Because when it comes to in the mirror dimension, you can somehow manipulate matter and all those freaking things, and they're pretty cool. So they were able to do that in freaking Darkness. And as I watch this, it's just crazy insane. It gets me to think about things when it comes to like being able to know about the things that you know, and the things that you don't know, but somehow be able to like. It's just like no matter how hard you try to know everything else, there's a lot of things that you don't know about, and you just have to like when it comes to these freaking things, it's somehow like akin to my freaking journey about these freaking things when it comes to like Doctor Strange and how he was able to do it. Because there are things we don't know about, like currently don't know about, and be able to like, relearn and be able to like accept things that we don't know about, the things that we don't about those things that are happening to us that are somehow truths when it comes to the reality of things. So I don't really know how my delusions work, right? I don't really know. I cannot freaking control it. But when it comes to like freaking control, when it comes to the freaking delusions, it's like these freaking delusions, right? It's like these delusions or these illusions that I'm having when it comes to freaking reality. It just freaking happens, but it doesn't happen like that, right? A matter of freaking controlling it. It's just being accepting of like its reality and like it's real to me. And I was like being in control of it. It's like this freaking river scene that you cannot control a river or how it freaking flows. You just have to surrender to it and all those freaking things. Those freaking conversations, the things or the teachings of the ancient one seems to resonate with me, and how I may be able to understand the things that I'm like feeling, and I understand my feelings or my intuitions, all those freaking things. Yes, we gotta learn about all those things like when it comes to like freaking how our brain freaking functions, how our brain like be able to produce certain kinds of freaking chemicals to entice these freaking feelings when it comes to us. So we need to regulate those freaking chemicals in our freaking brain. So that's why we need to be. That's why I need to be able to like take freaking meds and all those freaking things. But it's not just all about that. Like sometimes when it comes to this, it's just handling it through other means, right? Like being able to much more be in tune with oneself and all those freaking things. And that's why that kind of freaking healing or that kind of freaking part of the mysticism, the part in this freaking movie really really resonated with me as I seen it. But yeah, it was a time when I was like really really into, during this freaking time I was like really really into those freaking things too, because I'm kind of like, yeah, I really enjoy during this Doctor Strange freaking thing back in 2016. It was a time for me too. That was like a very explorative state in my freaking mind, but it was very fun. Doctor Strange is freaking fun. It was a nice freaking movie. Watched it. I want to talk more about it or whatever it is, like the astral freaking projection, all those freaking things about like with my current friends back then, with the people around me back then. But it's hard to freaking talk about these kinds of things when it comes to other people, because here and there's like a stigma when it comes to those freaking kinds of like talk, right? It's somehow very very hippie kind of talk, super experimental, and sometimes it's just way too freaking over your freaking head. It's just you don't have to. It's just hard to freaking accept, right? When you have freaking science into freaking works, and now like science is in the how you be able to like see the world as it is. But like as I dive in those freaking things, there are like other things that is just freaking unexplained. Because when it comes to this, yeah, there are like kind of things like that when it comes to freaking Doctor Strange, and that's probably like somehow on a much more realistic take on this mysticism when it comes to it, right? Seeing things that are like that, because sometimes it is kind of crazy, insane. The speaking of freaking the talk about freaking religious experiences when it comes to other freaking things, it's just not religious, like, more like epiphanies and those kinds of things. Epiphanies of enlightenment, like enlightenment to things that are just you don't freaking see, or like just for you to believe in some other freaking things. But when it comes to freaking Doctor Strange, it seems like at the beginning he kind of knows like everything that it is to freaking know. Like it seems like some anybody else who wants to be a doctor or wants to be able to like heal, somehow he has the top of the freaking game, right? He wants to do the things that nobody cannot do. Like he wants to do the things that nobody else can do, right? That's what he does, especially on the freaking ride when he was like on his freaking ride to a freaking talk or like to on his ride to a convention. What is it? No, it's not a convention. On a meeting. Well, it's not a meeting. It's a on a way for him to like go to like have a talk, right? On that way, freaking in his freaking car, he was like talking about like choosing freaking patients that he was able to be able to work on. But as he chose his freaking patients, he was able to like have a misstep, right? So ongoing now with Doctor Strange and his freaking journey, he gets to like go to this freaking thing, and so he crashed his freaking car, wrecked his freaking hands, destroyed his freaking body, mostly his freaking hands. And as you see, is how they like freaking healed his freaking hands. It just like you see him there. You see him in that freaking point and be able to like see what's happened to his freaking hands, how others are able to handle his freaking hands, and you see the distraught. You see his freaking face be able to like, what the hell did they do to my hands? Kind of like thing. He wasn't like being grateful. The craziest thing about this is he survived, but it doesn't seem grateful that he survived. It seems like he survived only to be able to like experience a much more greater freaking hell, something more that is much more painful towards him, because with all the things that happens to him, he'd rather freaking die, because all he ever wanted was to freaking be this freaking guy, right? Was to be this freaking guy, to be able to like to have this freaking great ass freaking purpose, to be this great ass freaking person, because that's what he wants. That's what he. It's either he does that or becomes that, or just doesn't do that or dies. To those, it uses all these freaking resources just to like try and fix his freaking hands. But it doesn't seem to be able to do that. But then when it comes to this conversation, when it comes to his physical therapist, he was able to get a hold of somebody who was able to like be able to like walk and be able to walk after being totally paralyzed, right? Something that he came back from somewhere he doesn't seem to be able to possible to come back from. Which is in this freaking situation right now after the freaking car crash. Seems that they can get back from whatever it is that happened to his hands. And during this freaking scene, during this freaking time, and time of this freaking pain, and time when he's trying to heal himself, right? All they ever wanted to say was probably, "Just wait, your hands are still freaking healing. No drastic or no crazy ass experimental freaking procedures is gonna be able to help or further do that." It seems like a freaking stupid freaking thing, because you need to heal first, be able to like actually see how far your own body can go, and then we proceed with those drastic measures, those experimental procedures, right? It seems like he doesn't want to do it because he seems to be the expert when it comes to everything else. Seems to be in the rush to be able to like create freaking decision based on what. His decision making is already like kind of distraught, and like is destroyed based on his freaking ego that he must be able to kind of come back as fast as possible. But it's not supposed to be able to like that. So he wasted all his freaking resources. He's there freaking sitting, moping around, and here comes freaking Christine. Here comes freaking Christine saying there might be like other ways that you can freaking help. There must be other ways where you can somehow be able to freaking save lives, and not just this. And this freaking conversation about that, this freaking uh, created something, or triggered something when it comes to him, because all he ever wanted, all he is to be a surgeon, right? That's his all he ever is. His freaking identity, and all he is freaking surgeon. All his word is going to be, when it comes to himself, that is who he is. That is just who he is. There is nothing else when it comes to freaking Stephen freaking Strange. Like when it comes to freaking Stephen Strange, he has to be a freaking doctor, and he has to be a great freaking doctor at it too. And not just at any freaking doctor, he has to be the best freaking doctor out there. That is what Doctor Strange is to be. That is only the only definition of Stephen freaking Strange. For him, that is what it is to become. So anything else besides that is like non-existent. It cannot happen. Only thing that is possible for him is this. That's what he is. It's just like probably for me, it's to be able to relate myself and be able to like add another personal freaking salt into this freaking whatever it is that I'm trying to cook is me being a streamer, right? Me being a streamer, or back in the day, me being a photographer, or me being a filmmaker, or me being an artist, like me being like that, right? That's me being a creative freaking person. Like it's just crazy ass freaking things when it comes to this freaking thing because I've experienced those. Like I've experienced and I know what it feels like to get that place. To go to that freaking place and see yourself as only this one freaking person, only this. And then that is the only way that you're able to I know it. I've been there. Put myself in that freaking situation too. And got myself wrecked. And I got myself into a figurative freaking car crash or accident or a huge ass fall from grace, right? The fall from grace, the fall from what you are and what you seem to be identify as who you are, no longer be able to be possible. You're no longer being made freaking possible because you have failed at what it is that you do, just because of a freaking accident. And most of these freaking things is because it's your freaking fault, especially when you have a freaking inflated ego, when you think everything is in your freaking control, just because you have a slight freaking miscalculation. Just because he would like point it as his freaking mistake in this freaking point because he didn't look in the freaking road, right? That's a huge ass mistake in there already. And he would blame himself for that and all those freaking things. But they don't see that in the freaking movie. All we need to see is him identifying as a freaking doctor. That's his. That's what all he ever wanted to be. And we see this when it comes to like Rachel McAdams, and then we get to see more of Rachel McAdams and Benedict Cumberbatch and seen as phenomenal freaking actors as they like interact with each other. I really like this freaking scene when it comes to this with this too. It's only the only thing we're ever gonna get, but it's like really freaking good, man. It's a bit that we're only gonna get from them, but it's really fucking good. Because afterwards, this one it just pushes like Christine away. The only thing that's like trying to help him, right? Even for me, I kinda do not understand this freaking one. Yeah. He just thinks of himself as just some lost freaking cause or just another freaking patient. He doesn't understand that she actually truly cares for him, right? But he just wanted to push her away because he doesn't seem to be able to have any kind of freaking value towards her. This like resonates with me too because do those things to like people who want to help, man. You do those things to people who want to help, and then like saying these other things that probably is some other ways like what you were able to become. You're able to like help someone freaking out. Kind of like that. As in like going into this freaking thing, we would talk more about see him later go into this freaking thing, right? Proof of freaking concept. Some like kind of truth as to what he was looking for. This guy who was like completely paralyzed was able to freaking walk, and was you see him freaking playing basketball with like people in the freaking playing basketball, and he like goes there and approaches this guy, talks to him, kind of like that. Explain, and then there's this chase towards going to this bigger place, going to Kathmandu, Kamartaj, as he goes and find Kamartaj. Goes and freaking finds freaking Kamartaj. Goes there with all this freaking knowledge that he has, just to be freaking, just to be freaking humbled by the ancient one. The way he was able to approach the ancient one, he goes there with so much freaking doubt, and freaking uh disbelief as to what is supposed to be needed from him to be able to heal himself. Like, well, all he needed to be able to heal himself, all he needed to be able to cure himself, is belief. Belief that he can get freaking better. You know how fucking crazy that is for someone like me? Be able to see that, like, as someone who watches the freaking movie, someone be able to, like, talk to me, something like that. Because all of the freaking knowledge that somehow I have doesn't seem to be able to come back from a place of freaking psychosis. I'm like a breaking, shattered freaking. Not even shattered freaking, right? At the ways that you can no longer use your freaking body the way you used to be able to use it. Cannot use. For me, it's not my hands, it's my fucking mind. I don't seem to be able to use my mind the way I was able to use it back in the day, man. I it feels like that. It feels like that. Do you know how hard it is for me to be able to read? There was a certain point in freaking time for me how hard it is to read. Somehow, what is needed is you can believe that you can do it. Believe that, I don't know, starts with a freaking belief, which is kind of like ridiculous. To be able to go there and be able to understand it was like that. It's kind of insane. It's kind of insane for like Stephen Strange to be able to do that too. To be able to go to that freaking petition, be able to like be able to understand. All you need is what's crazy about it too is this. I love this. The way that introduced the like it introduced the ancient one in a way that she is there to serve as a freaking servant towards the people who are under her. It's just kind of good. It has this what do you call this thingy now? It's a kind of a utilitarianism, kind of leader too. It's not traditional utilitarianism, progressive utilitarianism. It's not utilitarianism. It's much more like a leader, servant leader, kind of like showing us what the ancient one does, what she is, and what she like says to be freaking Strange, and Strange still doesn't want to believe. The crazy thing about this, I have this spite or like kind of do not understand a little bit because why would you let someone? Why would you like show all these freaking things for someone to believe in your freaking cause? And for someone to want to freaking be able to like learn or ask for you to freaking learn just to cast them out later. I don't know. It's part of the freaking plan to like really see the determination, right? Probably that's it. To see the determination and the strength in this person of how badly they really want to learn whatever it is you want to teach them. You're going to teach them. That's the crazy ass point thing about him. Like this, I love this freaking part because when it comes to like this freaking scene and how it was done, cinematically on like a story freaking wise, you don't see anything else, right? You begin at a certain point where these freaking people are kind of contradicting each other, but nothing is being shown yet. Nothing is being shown as to like nothing is being shown to back the premise of the other one, the ancient one's freaking premise as to how Stephen Strange should be able to heal himself and be able to like cure his freaking hands to get what he wanted. Go here, and that's what freaking happened. We go here and we don't see that until the freaking and we get to see how the conversation or the tension gets freaking escalated because Stephen Strange doesn't seem to be able to believe whatever the ancient one has to be able to do, and it's been contradicted and over, contradicted by each freaking line, by each whatever, by each freaking line. You see this freaking uh contrast or whatever it is that they're the clash of their ideals together in this freaking conversation on how they should be able to like do this until you have this complete freaking thing. So then she said, "Open. You need to just open your freaking mind. No, not exactly open your mind, but just completely tension rises so freaking high that you get to see the point that Stephen Strange wanted to poke the just wanted to poke poke the ancient one, which is kind of like disrespectful at this point, very disrespectful, right? So and she also did is just like push his astral body from his like push his astral body, like push his astral body away from his body, then brought it back in. But still, Stephen Strange doesn't want to believe it. She says freaking psilocybins, hallucinogens were like being put in the freaking mix. Nothing else would make him freaking believe. Until she opened his freaking mind and went, and he just went on a fucking trip. He just go poof. He just got launched into the freaking air, and it's just fucking insane. This trip was kind of freaking crazy. Heart rate is so freaking high because it's kind of insane. Whatever it is that happened to him is insane that it is like that, right? And just and we get to see these freaking things, and afterwards she just freaking like tossed freaking Stephen Strange away just because of freaking past experiences. We have to see this freaking flaw when it comes to the ancient one. We have to see this freaking hesitance as to what it is that happened because the previous freaking students that she take over, like talented freaking students that she takes in, uh, gets to be able to. She has this freaking mistake when it comes to freaking Caecilius, because Caecilius was like a talented student that fell from freaking grace, also, right? That is lost from the freaking path that the ancient one is like putting towards them, like showing them. Yeah, gifted students being lost to power. Then you go to be able to do this, and then later on you get to like get Stephen Strange taken in by Mordo. Mordo is actually the one who takes in Stephen Strange. It's kind of crazy, insane as to what it is that's gonna happen, and we get to see Shambhala. Shambhala is like a freaking nice freaking word because it is the Wi-Fi password. Shambhala being Wi-Fi password is nice, and we're able to like get. It's like the jokes, if I could say it, the freaking jokes in here doesn't like push you out of the freaking fourth wall, right? It doesn't like somehow break the jokes in here doesn't somehow break the fourth wall or the immersion of you watching it, right? Doesn't break the immersion of you watching it. It's like you be able to like it seems like it's believable between whatever it is that's happening between these freaking characters. Still grounded in the reality of these freaking characters, of these freaking jokes, how these jokes are being said and made, which is one of the freaking funniest freaking able things to be able to do. It seems in character as to be able to like do those freaking jokes this freaking way doesn't cut the freaking seriousness way too freaking much. You know? It doesn't cut the seriousness. It's timed perfectly well. It's placed perfectly well in the freaking story to be able to like the jokes are there to place like really freaking good for it to be able to like cut the freak sometimes you need the seriousness to be cut, or you need to uh have the emotional beat from victim to victor. You need to like put the you need to put you need something that drives the freaking characters from a point of freaking down, from a down point, to lighten up the freaking mood, to like really increase the freaking to lighten up the freaking mood, or to lighten things up for them to be able to rise to the occasion, or for them to be able to seem to be able to like be able to handle whatever it is that to come, and to like be able to like go there, right? To like lift the spirits of the freaking viewer, and the freaking it lifts the spirits of the viewer, and then the freaking characters too. It's like a crazy ass freaking thing because we're not savages here. It says very fucking funny, the Wi-Fi password. And then the crazy ass freaking things when it comes to his training. You get to see crazy ass freaking things when it comes to his freaking training. He does be able to like understand and know the freaking knowledge. He knows the freaking knowledge of this, but he was not able to be able to like practice it and like tells whatever it is that he or show whatever it is that it needed to be done. He still can make those freaking circles, right? He still can't make those freaking magic circles. He still can't able to conjure freaking magic. So it was like put into a freaking. The craziest thing about this is just not everything has to freaking make sense. When it comes to I don't know, man. It seems like when this freaking line was said, when it comes to like Stephen Strange learning freaking magic, it's like not everything has to freaking make sense, and it still resonated through me. This freaking line that was being able to like teach freaking Doctor Strange to be able to freaking use magic, somehow being able to like said to the freaking audience, to me as an audience, to be able to understand and to keep up with whatever it is, to make, to believe whatever it is that I wanted to see, right? To like make whatever it is that's happening believable. It's just not everything has to make sense, and then immediately everybody like immediately they go to the freaking they go to the Everest, they go to the top of freaking Everest, and that is insane. As they go to freaking top of Everest, Stephen Strange was able to put into a survival state to be able to freaking learn, or to be able to like execute whatever it is that he needs to be able to do. Do you know the crazy thing about these things when it comes to freaking teaching? That's like one of the biggest flaws to be able to like understand. Yeah. When it comes to this freaking thing, being put into a survival state to be able to learn and to be able for you to be able to execute these freaking things. You know they did this when it comes to like freaking swimming. You just throw a person away into the freaking water and let them freaking swim for themselves. It's kind of crazy that it's like that. It's kind of crazy that it is like that. There's like a crazy ass freaking things that happen to it. Like you either you live, you die, you die trying. You know, it's just a crazy ass freaking test. Like it's just a test when it comes to like Stephen Strange, or like a test to everything, everybody else, right? So he has to be able to put in the situation to actually really learn, or to accelerate his freaking learning as fast as freaking possible. That you'll be able to like put in this survival freaking state. But as I learned it, you know, when it comes to freaking teaching, when it comes to like people learning, when it comes to these freaking things, it's not actually really. It doesn't have to be like that. But it comes to the freaking job, man. When it comes to the freaking job and how are you supposed to be able to like do and execute the freaking job, or the stakes of somebody's able to like somebody's the stakes of somebody's occupation to be able to execute things. Sometimes you need to be put in those freaking things, life and death situation simulations, right? To be able to make you feel that it's a life and death freaking situation, because probably it is. You're gonna be able to affecting crazy ass freaking things when it comes to the stakes of what it is that you needed to be do. You needed to freaking do, and you need to freaking learn it. And you need to be able to rise to the occasion and survive and go through it. And that's like a great way to be able to understand the stakes of the things. And he was able to do it. He came out of it, created the freaking portal, and was able to come out of it. And it was crazy insane to like see that from Stephen Strange. And the shock into it. Then we're able to see these freaking things, right? This freaking conversation that comes to, we get to see the acceleration of the like how Stephen Strange was able to freaking learn, how fast he was able to learn and do all these freaking things. We get to see this freaking montage of things that we was able to do, how he's able to like learn things. He was like said all of these freaking books, like explanation of things, like get to see why these books are there. Like no knowledge is forbidden when it comes to the entire in Kamartaj. No knowledge is forbidden. It's crazy insane that it's like that. It's nice to freaking know. We get to see all of these things happen. See the acceleration of the. We get to see Stephen Strange rise so freaking fast to the point that he was able to sneak in into the library and learn other books that are just like not being told to him or not being allowed to him, but he was able to learn. He got to a freaking point, and then he got to this freaking point where he saw the eye of freaking Agamotto and was able to freaking build it. He went in there to the eye of Agamotto. He was able to wield it. He was able to like see these freaking things. He was able to like use the eye of Agamotto. The point that he like the point that he made freaking time reverse to the point and saw these freaking pages, the stolen pages on the book of Cagliostro. The book of Cagliostro, where he was able to see how people tap and take power from the dark dimension. And it's where tension freaking rises. He was way too freaking like you see fragmentation when it comes to like the time. You see fragmentation with the time, but we don't see the TVA yet. Right? This is crazy insane because we see fractures in freaking time and whatever it is that he does. And you see it as you close the freaking book. We see fragmentations in the timelines and created branches and they say they explained it, right? It's either you create freaking time loops, you create branches in freaking reality. Sometimes you create branches in reality where you don't even exist. Those freaking kinds of things through the freaking time stone, which is kind of insane because you're tapping with the nature of freaking nature. You're destroying freaking nature, and you get to see this thing when it comes to like explanation when it comes to. I want to go to like freaking Mordo and like talk about freaking Mordo, but we got to see this freaking thing like the cost or whatever it is that they do is like tampering with freaking nature as whatever it is that's happening. When it comes to freaking sorcerers, whatever it is that they do, they mess up the natural order of freaking things. But it's probably in a world where those freaking things exist. I think as a counter, as a rebuttal to that premise or to that freaking argument, I would say it is a natural freaking thing. Because the time stone and all the infinity stones are a natural freaking object, which is caused by the freaking singularities before the freaking beginning of time. They were there. They were the precursors to the freaking universe. Those freaking things, the infinity stones, they are naturally occurring freaking objects unless we get to be able to see beyonders and all those freaking things, right? We get to be able to see people or the celestials, like something like that. Be able to like know more about these freaking things, but it hasn't been said yet. It hasn't been said yet. It hasn't been known yet. So it seems like it's a natural part of the freaking world to be able to wield this kind of power. I, for me, it was kind of like that. It seems kind of natural because it's already being there, right? It's just flowing when it comes to the freaking rivers. It's just rivers of the unconscious or like rivers in the other freaking dimensions. They are just freaking it's just people sailing to freaking rivers. So it's just like being able to say tell the person to not being able to use a boat, to not being able to like use a freaking axe to cut down a tree for survival itself, to be able to master its freaking environment. To be able, it's just like you could go down to the freaking argument to probably not be able to use a spoon, to not build a house, to pay for a freaking shelter, to not build all these freaking things. It's just be able to like that. Like when it comes to those freaking things, Mordo can go to those freaking extremes when it comes to his freaking argument. That whatever it is when it comes to freaking tampering with the laws of freaking nature. What it is natural, it can go there. It can be pushed there. The argument can be like pushed through there and like pushed to those freaking extremes. And probably that's how we able to like see him as truly as a crazy ass freaking villain, right? because we see someone who truly believes it is like a it can go to a freaking point where they gets to be able to see that humans or whatever it is, the existence of humans is a disruption, or it's just the existence of sorcerers. The existence of sorcerers is a disruption to nature itself. Probably sorcerers and probably humans, because humans has the capacity to become freaking sorcerers if they have been taught properly. Because when it comes to sorcery, some of it is inept or innate when it comes to freaking humans, or some humans are much more attuned to freaking sorcery and freaking magic, right? Or it can be thought. Depends on how Marvel pushes the freaking magic. How freaking magic is taught, how freaking magic is supposed to be able to understood by people. It can is it like something that everybody else can like be able to learn, or do you have like need special kind of things when it is special things that are innate when it comes to a freaking person to be able to like handle and wield freaking magic? I don't know. We get to see Ned in Spider Man, and we get to see him do magic freaking circles. Man, he gets to be able to like use a sling ring naturally without Strange teaching him, which is kind of a nice thing. Okay, so that's the thing about it. That's the thing about freaking magic and how magic is supposed to be able to do. So we get to these freaking things, and tensions freaking rise. And once tension freaking rises, it's a good freaking piece of freaking filmmaking, because when it comes to freaking tension and freaking storytelling, when tensions rise at a certain freaking point, you cannot go back to a previous point. You cannot go back down when tensions have risen this freaking high. It's you can only go higher and higher when it comes to freaking tension, or like the increase in freaking energy, or not increase in energy. Yes, let's just call it increase in freaking energy, right? The increase in freaking energy cannot go down. At least it cannot. It must only go up to a point, and to the point of freaking climax. Because if you put it down, you're a freaking cock block, or you're giving your audience blue balls. You're blue balling your audience if you cut it down the tension like that. If you cut the tension or the energy or the tension when it comes to those freaking things, so the tension freaking rises. You get to see whatever it is that's happening. You get to see this cool ass fight when it comes to the fight scenes, or the fight scenes in the freaking New York. Like you get to see Kamatage get raided. Well, not actually Kamatage. You get to see London explode, right? You get to see this freaking portal to freaking London. You get to see it explode, but you get to see Caecilius being pushed away from the freaking from London freaking place, and you get to see him. You get to see Doctor Strange being pushed towards the portal going into New York. They went to New York, and you get to see this freaking what do you call these places again? Ah, I forgot this. What they call the places. You get to see these freaking places that are supposed to freaking protect the freaking world, right? Yes, because they need to explain what they're supposed to be, what we are, and what we freaking do. Because it seems like he's being trained to be able to like have weapons, conjure weapons, and use freaking weapons. And it was questioning what it is that they do, and then they say that we are protectors of the freaking from the unknown, right? Something like that. Like when it comes to freaking magic, when it comes to like freaking sorcerers, they are like protectors of the world from the unknown. Well, from the unknown, or from freaking other magic freaking things. I got to be able to say this, and we have to have this conversation when it comes to freaking Dormammu and all those freaking things. And we got to be able to see this freaking motivation from freaking Doctor Strange of the thing, of the hero wanting being put in a freaking place where he somehow no longer will ever get to his freaking wants, but it's just crazy as things. But because he was there to be able to like understand and get what he wants, right? It was explained to him a little bit of what he was needed for him to get what he wants later on. Later on, he gets to be able to like have a choice to get what he wants, or be able to like rise of vacation to be able to like do what he was needed to be actually done. It's just a crazy ass freaking journey there, like no longer getting what you want, but you get something much more. You get something much more, and you get to be understand for the hero to have be put in position to be able to be more than what he once was. He was freaking changed, brought back to a freaking familiar place, which is the freaking hospital. Able to like do these freaking things in there, not exactly a familiar place, but it's that. It's a great hero's journey. It's a great freaking way of storytelling and be able to like tell uh Stephen Strange freaking story. It's crazy, insane that it's like that. And you get to see more of this freaking change from Doctor Strange. Well, he was stabbed when it comes to the freaking fight in the New York Sanctum. Okay, the Sanctum Sanctorum. And the New York Sanctum, it was there protecting the Sanctum. He was able to like have the cloak of levitation, somehow be able to go to him and like use him, right? It's crazy, that's insane. These fights in the Sanctum, he was able to like match toe to toe with the Master, even though he's not a Master. Supposedly, we get to be able to see how freaking good he is when it comes to these freaking things, because he's not yet formally settled or formally recognized as a freaking master, but he works and acts like a freaking master in this freaking way as he fights this freaking big bad freaking villain. This is their first freaking encounter, and we see Steven Strange's competence. Well, it's not competence. It's not that he's not yet that good, but he is good enough to be able to keep his own, to be able to hold his own. It's like a 4 versus 1. It's like a 4 versus 1. Wait, it's a 3 versus 1. It's a 3v1 situation. He was able to like beat these freaking acolytes and be able to like contain Caecilius through freaking this, which is kind of insane. He was able to do that in the freaking sanctum without Caecilius like crazy ass like Caecilius like bending freaking reality to his will. He did not even use the time stone. All he has is his freaking sling ring and the freaking cloak of levitation. The cloak of levitation didn't even actually. The cloak of levitation worked and help. And they say the cloak of the levitation is a fickle freaking thing. Was able to like somehow choose this Stephen Strange, which is nice, which is kind of nice to know about it. All of everything about the cloak and everything else that's like being told in this freaking story. It's kind of nice thing about the New York Sanctum, whatever it is that happened in the New York Sanctum. The tension freaking rises. He was stabbed. He got to the freaking hospital. The operation freaking scene, so when it comes to him, is crazy insane. Because this is the first time we get to see how much Stephen Strange has changed as a person watching this freaking movie, right? At the beginning, the way he interacts with Christine is so freaking different of the way he interacts with Christine this freaking time. Yes, probably be able to say he's freaking dying, so he has to say all these things. But even afterwards, he's freaking die. After he's freaking patched up, he's completely freaking changed. We get to see more of this freaking change towards him being much more of like a whole ass freaking person, trying finding a much better purpose as to what he is, of finding a much better purpose in which he can help and save more freaking people or to save himself more, because you don't get to see this freaking crazy ass freaking change of his like selflessness and those freaking things when it comes to the people with high inflated ego yet, but he does freaking care about other people supposedly, right? When it comes to like him stepping up to the plate and actually caring about other people and no longer about himself, because the way he was like doing it when he was a doctor, when he was doing it, he was doctor. He was like masquerading this person trying to help other people, but actually it's just to help himself, to like show himself that he has value towards the freaking world. But this time it kind of freaking changes. We get to see changes when it comes to him, but it doesn't get to those point yet, right? We don't get to this realization or this actualization that Stephen Strange wants us to actually help freaking people. But we get to see this freaking part of him that's completely freaking changed. First, it's like him apologizing to Christine, whatever it is that he has done to him. That is crazy insane to be able to know more about freaking Stephen Strange and his freaking journey and whatever it is that freaking happens. He apologized to Christine, and Christine's really asked, "What the hell happened to you?" Right? To be able to say those freaking things from Stephen Strange because of the last time they'd seen each other. And we get to see this freaking exchange when it comes to them. And so he goes back to the freaking sanctum, and you get to see them interact with each other, and you get to see him like confronting the ancient one, right? You see him confronting the ancient one because he has doubts. You've read the book of Cagliostro. He's seen the freaking pages of like the freaking how people the spell for eternal freaking life, and we get to see the ancient ones say that you might be able to speak. Be careful of the words you might be able to say next, because you might be able to not know how the because you might not know what you're gonna be able to say next. And it does say things, and we don't have it get to see this explanation yet when it comes to the ancient one drawing power from the dark dimension too. When we go there, drawing power from the freaking dark dimension is crazy insane, right? It was said that it's like that. But all we know about freaking Dormammu is he feeds upon our fear of freaking death. Like something like that. He feeds upon the fear of freaking people, and that's what gives Dormammu freaking power. And it comes to freaking death, when it comes to freaking a bunch of freaking mortals, when it comes to a bunch of freaking mortals, we all freaking fear death, right? One way or freaking another. We just somehow don't want to die. Uh, in the limited freaking time that we are, we somehow don't want to freaking die. That's what freaking feeds him, and that's what probably feeds him. That's what probably the trade-off between the eternal life of the ancient one, because that's one of those few people who actually fears death with the fears death a lot, right? As it been said in here. So it's kind of crazy that it's like that. So we get to see this freaking thing, and we get to see this fight the fight with freaking Caecilius as he goes into the freaking New York Sanctum, and they fight. And this fight is freaking awesome because the mirror dimension is so fucking cool. This fight is amazingly done. It's so well done. It's crazy insane. It's so well done. But all I need to like be able to say is like I cannot say much about it because all I do is freaking yap, right? So I get to see more about this freaking journey when it comes to like this journey, and we get to see this contrast between Mordo and Stephen freaking Strange. Stephen Strange thinks much more freaking creativity. He somehow lacked the creativity or the imagination to be able to do this freaking thing. Because this is the first time he's able to kill somebody, and he doesn't like the idea of killing people to get to those freaking means. He doesn't like the idea of killing people to go and achieve freaking peace or to find to protect the rest of the freaking world. When it comes to freaking Mordo, it just takes freaking spine to be able to freaking do that. But when it comes to freaking Stephen Strange, you just lack the creativity or the imagination to find other ways to be able to do these freaking things. But because if you have that kind of freaking power, anyways, if you have the power to almost be able to do anything, you kind of lack the imagination to be able to like do this freaking things, right? If you have that much amount of freaking power, probably killing would be the last freaking option for you to be able to do. But if you have if the power balance is not freaking there, yes, killing would be like the what should it needs to be freaking done. Because sometimes it does need to be like that. And that's why like you see Stephen Strange to be much more greater than freaking whatever it is that Mordor does. And when it comes to this fight in the mirror dimension is crazy insane, right? You get to see them fight the mirror dimension, and like somehow uh, the ancient one was able to like say you need freaking backup, right? You gotta need freaking backup in this freaking fight, and just goes away. And so these two was able to like go and fight freaking Caecilius in the mirror dimension. They were fighting in the mirror dimension, but later on the backup was that it seems like the ancient one did not get backup. So the backup that came was like the ancient one herself. So the backup that came, that is the ancient one herself, and was able to do this and revealed the mark of Dormammu in her freaking forehead, right? This freaking mark, the dark dimensional mark, or the mark of freaking Dormammu. As we're also able to see that, we see this in their forehead, we'll be able to like say, "You freaking lied." This freaking destroys Mordo's freaking loyalty when it comes to Mordo's loyalty towards the Ancient One, because he truly blindly believes whatever the Ancient One does, right? Like whenever it is that the ancient one does, or whatever it is the ancient one says, and all those freaking things, Dormammu believes and like completely follows her blindly. And we get follows her blindly because he completely freaking trusts her that she is freaking good, that whatever it is that she's doing is not completely that. But we get to see this part of freaking Stephen Strange that there are things that needs to be freaking broken to be able to like achieve freaking certain kinds of things. So Stephen Strange much understands the Ancient One a lot freaking better than the Mordo, which is kind of weird because when it comes to that, the needed what is needed when it comes to what Mordo freaking needs, he didn't get to have what he needs in this freaking situation. This freaking converse, he needs to have the conversation with freaking the Ancient One and not freaking Stephen Strange. But this is Stephen Strange's freaking movie, right? When it comes to like fucking proper catharsis or like proper like ending things well, or like to like properly guide freaking Mordo from this point onwards. From this point onwards, like Mordo needs the freaking much more guidance than anybody else in this freaking movie. That's why he freaking fell and turned into a freaking villain. Because like Steven was the one who was like with the ancient one in her last freaking moments. They were both there, but Steven was the one to be able to like go in this astral freaking form because Mordo doesn't know how to do that. Like Mordo wasn't able to like freaking do it and go to her astral form and like be with the ancient one too. If they were there at this freaking moments and like and so after this freaking scene, after this freaking fight, right, we got to see this thing when it comes to like the ancient one, but she was defeated. They were defeated and they were able to like run away. And we get to see the ancient one's freaking body fall from the freaking building, and then they rush her to the freaking hospital. As they rush her into the freaking hospital, we get to see the ancient one uh run with her freaking astral form as she goes and watches the freaking snow. And she goes in the freaking balcony and just stares at the freaking thing. And you got this conversation between Doctor Strange and the ancient one. And this is crazy as insane. Whatever it is that they talked about. Let me see. It's crazy and insane. We get to see more when it comes to this operation, when it comes to this bits and pieces in this freaking things of how much Doctor Strange has changed from what he once was in the beginning of the movie. Because this time he trusts Nick. He trusts Nick. He gave the freaking scalpel to freaking Nick. He was trying to operate, but his hands aren't there yet, right? He already knows at this freaking point what is needed to be done to be able to like get his hands be able to like work. But he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to give into this freaking magic flowing into his freaking body just to get his hands work. Like so he doesn't want to do the freaking spell. Like he trusts Nick to be able to like he finally trusts somebody else to be able to like do the work because he is freaking desperate. Right? He is freaking desperate. He cannot do anything, but he went and goes and trusts somebody else. He went and pushes and understands like he needs Nick to be able to like do this. But when it comes to that, it's not enough, right? It's just really good. It's like that. And this is conversation when it comes to we get to see this freaking underlying fear that probably the ancient one has been feeding Dormammu. It's probably like one of those freaking people who like gives feeding Dormammu power is like both in the freaking end, right? What gives Dormammu power is the fear of freaking death. Like the ancient one fears freaking death so freaking much that he has so many countless freaking and it's probably seen use the freaking time stone so freaking much, right? But it all ends here, she says. Like somehow she cannot see past through whatever it is this point of end that they have. Probably Stephen Strange can be able to see this freaking thing, right? He does not see past a certain kind of way. No, he kind of like finds one out of like the freaking amount of freaking timelines that he sees is kind of crazy. And the amount of detail, understanding the amount of detail that is packed in all of freaking on all of freaking MCU is crazy insane if you just have to truly pay attention to the freaking dialogue, what it is that's going on. Yes, it is in there. Like yes, it is said in there, but it's like underlying whatever it is that's being said. There are like so many things that are unsaid that someone be able to like theorize and be able to like explain or like the personalized. For me, as a freaking viewer, it personalize. You personalize what is unsaid, right? You get to see or like tell things. You interpret it in your own freaking way of how things are being said in this freaking whatever it is that's being said. So these freaking things, there are things that are just the limits of the freaking time stone. This is the freaking limits of the freaking time zone that you see freaking countless endings, but you don't get to see you don't get to see past what it is that you're ending. Like somehow, even with you wielding the freaking time zone, be able to see and change timelines, you don't get to see you still have an end. There's still an end to people who are able to manipulate time, who are beyond the limits, who are beyond the limits of freaking time, which is kind of crazy because all of us like understand like when it comes to freaking time, time seems death. Like when you're out of freaking time, that's where death is. But death is beyond freaking time. That's a crazy ass freaking thing when it comes to this, whatever it is, like whatever this freaking line that the ancient one was able to like tell Doctor Strange. And still, when it comes to this thing, when it comes to this thing, this is like still strange. This freaking confrontation when it comes to this freaking too. The final confrontation of freaking Strange's freaking ego as to what he needs to be able to do or what he needs to actually see the freaking world as. Because he still thinks it's about him. He still thinks this movie is about him. But when it comes to other freaking things, what he needs to be able to do is to not think about himself, right? That it's not about him. Whatever it is that whatever happens, that his freaking job, not his freaking job, his freaking place in the fucking world, it's not about him. Whatever he needs to become, or whatever, when he becomes this freaking magician, when he becomes the sorcerer supreme, it's not about him. He's pointing to becoming this freaking crazy ass freaking things. It's not about him. That whatever glory or whatever it is that he's gonna be able to achieve afterwards, it's not about him. Whatever glory, it's not about him, right? Whatever he needs to be able to do, it's not about him. It's just kind of crazy that it's like that because at the very beginning, oh, you make it all about you. Only together, this is crazy insane that only together do they have a chance to fight freaking Dormammu, which is kind of crazy insane to fight freaking Dormammu or to defeat freaking Dormammu because whatever it is that Strange has done, it's at this freaking point you kind of like makes me want to think that there might be a different freaking ending when it comes to Doctor Strange if Mordo and Strange were able to truly work together. But it doesn't seem that it's like that. It seems that Mordo is freaking lost at this freaking point. But because what the person who needs this conversation more is freaking Doctor freaking Strange. It's freaking Stephen Strange. Stephen Strange who needed this conversation more, who needed this freaking closure when it comes to the ancient one. But somehow it's like you need freaking Mordo to be like at this freaking point, Mordo needs to be here in this freaking conversation for them to be actually see that actually Mordo and freaking Strange was able to work together. But in this freaking thing, he did try to freaking work with Mordo after, right? And it's the craziest freaking part about this is death gives life meaning. See my notes here is death gives life meaning. So I could just watch the snow. Here I am slowing down time, even at the freaking end. Here I am slowing down time just to watch the snow fall. And here I am again watching this freaking coming from the freaking tropics. People hyping the fucking snow again. Another freaking hype for freaking snow. And here I am watching freaking snow again and be able to understand. It's like, is snow as good as people say it is? Like from people who like seen snow, it's like, is it as good as people say it is? I've never seen freaking snow, man. And how the freaking how people romanticize fucking snow, it's just crazy insane. Okay, at this fucking point, snow is like freaking crazy insane. Okay, okay, it's just so fucking hyped. Like snow falling is so freaking hyped up that I'm like, bruh. Anyways, and that is the death. And we get to see this freaking ending is so freaking good as death when it comes to the ancient one's freaking death. And then we get to see Stephen Strange reaching out and like wanting comfort from somebody else. As his hands freaking shaking, he goes to the hand of freaking Christine, and it's just a beautiful scene for me. This one, because it's just completely he has changed from what he once was back then for what he is now. Because back then he doesn't want anybody else to like share with his freaking pain, right? He doesn't want anybody else to be able to like help him in his freaking pain, whatever it is that he's going through. But here he comes like going like asking freaking Christine whatever it is that it needs to be done. And it just holds her fucking hand. And it's just crazy insane. Okay, this fucking scene is very nice, man. And then you get to see and the joke is freaking there. When the properly freaking time freaking joke is there, man. When a joke was freaking needed to cut off the seriousness or to put the freaking hero or to put us viewers into a certain freaking point of to cut off the freaking scene and to put us into a freaking point to lighten the freaking and to help us and to push us further into the freaking story, not us to like under like it was perfectly needed and it's like a perfectly timed freaking joke when it comes to the cloak of levitation, like wiping his tears and like, can you just stop? It's kind of crazy and insane that it's like that. It's very freaking funny how he freaking did that, and so they were able to like go back into the freaking and then so they were able to like arm up and like go to the freaking Hong Kong Sanctum. And when it comes to the Hong Kong Sanctum, there are other ways to save lives. This conversation when it comes to Christine, this conversation when it comes to Christine, when it comes to him like letting go of what he is, right? Letting go of like how he chooses to be himself, because this is what this is not about him. Whatever he needs to become is not about himself choosing whatever it is needed, because it's about everybody else. Like how everybody what is needed from him, what the world needs from, what the universe needs from him, is what he needs to become. And he finally be able to accept that and says there are other ways to save lives when it comes to this conversation or this scene with Christine. It's so freaking beautiful. It's a great freaking way to be able to see this transformation from our hero, Stephen fucking Strange, completely change as to who he is. And now, finally, facing off the big bad Dormammu or Caecilius, aka Caecilius. As they go to the freaking as he goes with freaking Mordo, goes with Mordo into the freaking Hong Kong Sanctum. Everything is freaking fallen. They've been defeated. He just then uses the time stone, reverses freaking time, and just keeps doing all these freaking things, all these things that needs to be fucking done. And it's just crazy insane that it's like that, because as you see these things, as we see freaking Wong get saved, and Wong was like, hey, don't stop now, just keep reversing freaking time. And then they keep reversing freaking time. And he was able to do these freaking things. And when it comes to this freaking confrontation with freaking final confrontation with Caecilius, they were like, there needs to be other things to be done here. And goes, proceeds to Dormammu and does a freaking bargain. Imprisons Dormammu in a time loop. And yeah, needs a freaking bargain. Makes a freaking bargain with Dormammu, and they weren't able to do these freaking things. When it comes to freaking whatever it is that it's been done there, Mordo doesn't seem it to be a proper way to be able to like defeat Dormammu. It should be done another way, and should be like, and this brought this schism when it comes to them, because when it comes to freaking Mordo, when it comes to magic and sorcery, it's not part of freaking nature. You have broken the laws of nature to be able to save us. And it's like, hey, for me, it's still part of freaking nature, man. The time stone is just there. When it comes to freaking Mordo and how Mordo turns into a freaking villain, it's kind of nice to be able to see it here. But it could have been done better, how like Mordo was able to be good in addition to things. Because we don't see that much interaction when it comes to Strange and freaking Mordo. We don't get to see we get to see Mordo as a freaking teacher teaching Strange what it needs to be freaking done. Like at the beginning, we get to see Mordo teaching Strange. These are the things that are needed to be done, right? You have to freaking kill. You have to be able to do those things. You have to freaking grow a fucking spine. And yet, at the freaking fucking end, Mordo can somehow be able to like grow a fucking spine to break the freaking laws of freaking nature to be able to do this. Like somehow he doesn't seem to understand that there are things. Killing is easy, but like he draws the line between the having a deal with the tapping into the power of the dark dimension, using the freaking time stone, those freaking things. Like somehow he draws the freaking line, but somehow killing though he easily freaking does it. Like it's somehow like a weird ass freaking logic when it comes to freaking things. And then you have Doctor Stranger killing no, but time manipulation, yes. Probably tapping to the dark dimension, yes, yes. You know, like it's kind of like that when it comes to like these freaking two guys, and they're like, the way they see the world and the way they're able to like understand things. It's kind of crazy that it's like that. I probably need more words in my fucking vocabulary to be able to explain these things or to nail the concept or the thought about it. I don't know what's supposed to be able to add it. Is it ethos? What is ethos? Someone my brain is like yelling ethos. Ethos. Yes, the ethos of what the fuck? It's supposed to be an era. When it comes to like ethos, it says the characteristic spirit of a culture, era, or community. The ethos of Doctor Freaking Strange. I guess that's about it. That is that. That's what you get to see when it comes to freaking Doctor Strange. It's a really as good as movie. I wish that my life was a movie to be able to like understand and go through these freaking changes and be able to like go and find the freaking place and be able to understand and see that this is just not a place for freaking me. Right? To find a place or to find freaking purpose in which it's not about yourself, in a way to be able to not save your freaking ego, to not be able to like say, uh, yeah, a place that is just a place or something that you do that it's not about like it's not about yourself or it's not about saving myself, but saving other people's lives, you know, like thinking about everybody else. It's kind of insane that it's like that. And I kind of don't know. It makes me want to question what it is that I'm doing, why it is that I am streaming. You know, like it like makes me question why is I'm streaming, why am I sitting and talking here? It's like what it's just crazy insane when it comes to this freaking movie because it's not about myself when it comes to like freaking streaming. I do think it's about myself. I do think it's about saving myself, uh, training myself into saving myself into putting myself into a this freaking way and putting myself into a way that I can speak freely or like talk in certain ways like this. But seeing it as something else, seeing it as a way to be able to like uh do other things for other people, it's just I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if my streaming was able to be able to do that. I don't know if my yaps or whatever it is that I talk about here was able to like do that. And if it ever does, I guess yeah, this is where I'm fucking needed. I don't know. Anyways, that's about that's about it. After Doctor Strange, probably it's Spider Man. Is it Spider Man? I think it's Spider Man, right? Let's see. Let's see what's after Doctor Strange. After Doctor Strange. After Doctor Strange. After Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Holy fucking shit, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Anybody has daddy issues is crazy as insane because Guardians of the Galaxy it's all about what it is your freaking father is and who the fuck is your daddy. It's like who's your daddy? It's the cheat code who's your daddy. Like, what the fuck is that cheat code again? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy is a cheat code, I think, for Age of Empires. Is it Age of Empires or Warcraft? I don't know. But who's your daddy? Yes, Guardians of the Galaxy is all about. Volume 2 is about who's your freaking daddy. Yes. It's kind of crazy, insane that it's like that. Yeah. When it comes to these kinds of things, like using your freaking children into something else, kind of touches upon Filipino freaking culture a little bit. We get to see this when it comes to the Filipino culture about parents like seeing their children as a retirement fund. Anyway, as a retirement freaking fund or something freaking else, right? It's kind of insane that it's like that. Anyways, that's about it. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Yeah, I kind of felt this when I was like watching it back in 2017. Watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 really touches upon whatever it is that I wanted to talk about. It's kind of nice, but it's just hard to be able to like talk about the superhero movies and say, it's more than just a superhero movie. It's talking about this and talking about that. But yeah, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. That is what's next upon. It is nice. Okay. Let's go. Okay, bye bye. That's uh that's Doctor Strange. For an hour and 26 minutes, it's kind of nice to be able to talk about it. So yeah, thank you so much for coming by the stream and as I talk about Doctor Strange. So yeah, goodbye now. Bye bye. Bye bye, everybody. Say goodbye now. Got to say goodbye.